Ohio State and Alabama in trouble? Both teams are legitimate college football playoff contenders, but we are just 8 days away from the start of their seasons, and yet neither team has settled on a starting quarterback. It's unfamiliar territory for both of these teams, and it has both fan bases feeling a little bit concerned heading into the season opener. And today, guys, we're here to break down both of these teams' quarterback situations, sharing who we think will win the starting job and whether your fan base should be worried or not. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We're so glad that you could join us today on the eve of college football. Week 0 beginning tomorrow. Got full coverage for you all week long. But as always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below, including our expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Our Week 0 expert picks have already been posted to our website. So if you have not signed up, go take advantage of those picks today. We have beat out over 80% of the national handicappers each of the last 5 years. We can guarantee you a winning record. We can guarantee you're going to make some money, and we can guarantee that you will have the best customer service of any handicapper that the country can provide. The best picks in the country, one of the lowest prices in the country. Go sign up today to take advantage of these picks, and definitely you're going to want to get them before we release our Week 1 picks. Check out our Patreon account as well for exclusive college football content, and send us some gear to the mailing address down in the description below. We'd love to get some gear for Ohio State, Alabama, or whoever your team may be so we can represent them in every single video. So let's take a look at these situations, guys. Are they in trouble? Are Ohio State and Alabama in trouble? You know, this is relatively unfamiliar territory for both. Ohio State typically has had a great quarterback waiting in the wings. Alabama recently has had great quarterbacks waiting in the wings. Alabama, guys like Bryce Young, Mac Jones, Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, all those guys who've kind of been there. Now they're in a little unfamiliar territory. We start with Ohio State, though. They kind of made headlines this last week because of what their head coach, Ryan Day, came out and said. Something that a head coach typically doesn't come out and say publicly, especially a week before the season opener, saying, look, we've got a quarterback battle, but the coaching staff, we did like a straw poll. The coaching staff is split right down the middle between Kyle McCord and Devin Brown. So, no, we don't have a decision made up yet. It's a very tight race. And we might not have a decision made up until maybe the day of the season opener, right before kickoff. We're not exactly sure who is going to take that opening snap for Ohio State next Saturday as they take on Indiana. Ryan Day, of course, also mentioning there's a good possibility that both quarterbacks, McCord and Brown, could play in the season opener. And you know what? That's fine. Let's be honest here. Ohio State's got a pretty favorable schedule to start. They go on the road to Indiana, then they play Youngstown State, then they play Western Kentucky before their first true test on September 23rd against Notre Dame. So Ohio State has an opportunity to work out the kinks offensively, work out the kinks with their quarterback. And honestly, this could be an ongoing battle. This could be a quarterback battle for Ohio State that goes from now until right before Week 4 as McCord and Brown try to get some separation between themselves heading into that Notre Dame game, because Ohio State is not going to lose any of their first 3 games, regardless of who starts at quarterback. So that's one thing that the Buckeyes certainly have going for them. Kyle McCord, of course, has more experience. He's been with the program longer than Devin Brown. He attempted 20 passes last year, but in 2021 did get a start, his first career start against Akron, where he became the best quarterback ever to start for Ohio State. 319 passing yards, the most ever by an Ohio State quarterback in their first career start. Maybe not the best quarterback, obviously, in Ohio State history, but the most passing yards ever thrown in a first career start. McCord owns that record, 319 against Akron in 2021. So he has true in-game experience, more so than Devin Brown does, he coming in as a redshirt freshman. You know, we've seen Ohio State. They've had a guy like Justin Fields from 2019 to 2020. We saw C.J. Stroud 2021 to 2022, both drafted very highly in the NFL draft. Fields now with the Bears. C.J. Stroud selected number 2 in last year's draft, going to be the quarterback for the Houston Texans. Ryan Day has kind of been set during his tenure. Those are the only quarterbacks he's had. He hasn't really had to go through much of a battle with his quarterback. This is the first true quarterback battle Ryan Day has kind of endured during his time as head coach with the Buckeyes. And I'll be honest with you, I feel very confident in Kyle McCord. I feel very confident in Devin Brown. I think whoever Ohio State chooses to go with will work out just fine. We've seen outstanding quarterback play from Ohio State the last few years under Ryan Day. I don't expect it to be any different regardless of who's under center. I do believe, though, it's going to end up being Kyle McCord. I think it needs to be Kyle McCord. If it's Devin Brown, so be it. I think he's going to do just fine. But McCord has more experience. He's played extremely well. Some would say, play devil's advocate, why, if he's so good and he's had more experience, why hasn't he separated from Brown? That's a very solid point. But I think at the end of the day, McCord's accuracy is going to be the one that separates him from Devin Brown. And regardless, guys, whoever ends up being the starting quarterback for Ohio State has the best wide receiver room in the country. Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Egbuka at their disposal. They're going to make those quarterbacks look good regardless. Ohio State offensively, I think, is just fine, but it is interesting the fact that we are about a week out from the season opener. No starter has been named, that it truly is right down the middle, and that Ryan Day, of course, would come out and say that. Alabama, on the other hand, they're in a bit of a more precarious situation here. The Crimson Tide open up their season next Saturday against Middle Tennessee. Shouldn't be an issue for Alabama, regardless of who starts at quarterback. But they've got a battle going on between Ty Simpson, Jalen Milroe, and Tyler Buchner, who transfers in from Notre Dame, pairing up with Alabama's offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, who came in from Notre Dame. So that's one advantage that Buchner has going for him. All these quarterbacks have some pros going for them. That's the thing, right? Buchner's got that relationship with Tommy Rees already. Jalen Milroe has the experience from last year, coming in for an injured Bryce Young to lead their win against Arkansas, and then starting the game against Texas A&M, leading Alabama to that victory last year. Ty Simpson, haven't seen too much of him, but a highly touted quarterback with a lot of upside and a very accurate, strong arm. If I'm being completely honest with you, Nick Saban's been very quiet on who the starting quarterback is, who is kind of the front runner, says there might not really be one, and that this quarterback battle might last longer than week one. But if I'm being honest with you, this feels more like a two-guy race. I don't think Ty Simpson's that much in the race here. I think it's more of a battle between Tyler Buchner and Jalen Milroe. This is what it feels like to me. You look at Milroe, last year, 297 yards, 5 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions. Again, helped the team beat Arkansas and started the game against Texas A&M. Tyler Buchner in from Notre Dame, paired with Tommy Rees, but was injured just a few games into the year last season. He was supposed to be the starter for Notre Dame, started that week 1 loss against Ohio State, but injured, missed the majority of the year, did come back for that bowl game though. So he has upside. And then Ty Simpson, as we mentioned, solid passer. Milroe, a solid runner. Simpson, very solid passer. Buchner, kind of a combination of the two. We've seen dual threat ability from Buchner, but we know he can throw it as well. So he's kind of the best of both worlds there, but clearly is not getting the separation needed from Milroe or Simpson to solely solidify that starting job. And clearly the relationship that he has with Tommy Rees is not enough to give him that edge either. Alabama, why are they in more of a precarious situation? And why, if you're an Alabama fan, should you be more worried than if you're an Ohio State fan? Well, it's because you don't have time to work out your quarterback situation. A starter will be named for the opening drive for Alabama, maybe not until kickoff, we don't know. But you've got one game to figure it out. This quarterback battle cannot continue. You can't go in there and play 3 quarterbacks in week 2 because that's when Texas comes to town. So Alabama could play all 3 quarterbacks next Saturday against Middle Tennessee, and that'll work fine. Alabama, regardless of who they start, will beat Middle Tennessee, just like Ohio State, whoever they start, will beat Indiana. But unlike Ohio State, Alabama's got a legitimate tough opponent in week 2. The Buckeyes do not. So Alabama's got to solidify on somebody, get set on somebody, say, you were the starter against Texas. Let's start all 3 and against Middle Tennessee. Let them have some fun, see what happens there. But whoever plays the best, that's going to be the guy we ride with for the majority of that Texas game. Alabama does not have nearly as much time as Ohio State to figure out this issue, and that's why if you're a Crimson Tide fan, you should be a little more concerned than Ohio State. I do firmly believe that both programs are going to be fine. I think Kyle McCord gets the job at Ohio State. Right now, I'm leaning Jalen Milroe at Alabama to get the starting job for the Crimson Tide. Certainly the most experienced of the 3 quarterbacks and has been with the program. Not that always means anything. But I think Milroe is the guy that's best suited to maybe lead Alabama to an SEC title, to a college football playoff berth. And perennially, under Nick Saban, we have seen maybe some lackluster quarterbacks thrive in Tuscaloosa. Jake Coker has done it. Blake Sims has done it. And I believe that whoever wins the starting job in Tuscaloosa can do it as well. But there are a lot of unknowns, and it is an interesting situation, one that we really have not seen Alabama be in a very long time. So there you have it, guys. Some intriguing quarterback battles going on. We are just a little over 1 week away from the start of week 1, but time is running short. It's going to be very interesting to see who wins these battles and how they shape up next Saturday. And of course, we'll have coverage for these battles and the results for you right here on the channel every step of the way. But in the meantime, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Leave your comments below. Who are you worried about? Should Ohio State be worried? Should Alabama be worried? Who's going to win these quarterback battles? Leave your comments and thoughts down below. Check out everything down in the description, including those expert picks. Sign up for those today before the start of week 0 so you can get all of our picks, especially if you want to get on there before the start of week 1. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.